This is our third evaluation question, and the question is, what have you learned from our audience questions and research? The first bit of audience feedback and research that we got was at the end of our treatment presentation, where we opened ourselves up to question and answers after we produced our pitch to what we were planning to do. And the first question that we got asked was how we were going to include our narrative in our performance, because a lot of our video shown by the end and in the treatment was based on the performance of him in this abandoned garden centre, walking around and performing. So we decided that to include a narrative into that, we were going to have it based around as if this was his humble beginnings, and then obviously at the end you change to that more prestige and sort of upmarket place where the character's dressed in a suit rather than a sort of shabby clothing presented at the start, to sort of give a narrative with the performance. So that sort of rags to riches, sort of like stereotypical rap sort of theme, where it's started from the bottom, literally. And so we decided to include that narrative in the performance rather than segregating the two and having one or the other. And another question we got asked was, how are we going to appeal to the rap audience? Because we obviously illustrated our target audience are 16 to 25 blokes, and they were the ones that we were going to target our music video at. And through doing this, we decided that we should go with a character that is relatable to the music, to the target audience. So we got someone in Cameron who is of their age and someone who can represent the people watching it. So we decided to go with the most relatable thing to the rap audience, and we tried to go with the conventions about starting from the bottom and sort of slagging off society, like you can see in the graffiti that we used. That's sort of like going against society, because rap sort of is like the idea of sort of like the early examples of rap, like the NWA, are all about against the government, against the social norms. So we learned from this audience feedback that we needed to make our video more appealing to that genre, and maybe doing these sort of conventions isn't enough. So that sort of opened our eyes to changing maybe the storyline or the settings and the way that we presented our character, because then we would be able to appeal to that target audience rather than neglecting your only target audience and going sort of south of that and something that people wouldn't be able to relate to or get behind. And similarly to the performance in our narrative, we sort of found from our audience feedback that narrative is a popular route. The narrative is a popular route, and if we just neglect that narrative, then that can damage the whole music video, because it's not actively giving the audience and the target audience what they want.
So the second piece of audience research we did was our questionnaire that we put on our blogs, and we sent around to people at school who are people obviously in our target audience. So we were trying to get out as much as possible, and we learned actually quite a lot of stuff from this, because people just filled out quickly, and we got quite a lot of answers actually. So the first one was the most popular artist was G-Eazy. So what we did is we looked at some of his videos and just had a look at how he did it and what kind of like styles of editing he used, how fast and slow it was, and whether it went with the music, and if he had much of a narrative into his video, or if it was just raw, just performance and stuff. From that, we did realise that it's mostly mostly in his videos it is narrative, because it's mostly what I found was it was mostly just him talking about him being from the bottom and going to the top, and I wanted to go back to the bottom because he didn't like the typical rapper thing, saying, "Oh, everyone wants to be in position, but it's not that good." And we learned that that's mostly what he's doing in his videos. So yeah, that was a good bit of research. And the second thing was when on one of the questions was, would you rather have narrative or performance? And by a long way it was narrative, which was the top vote. So again, it means that we know we want to put more narrative into our question, into our into our music video, sorry. Again, just like Spencer was saying, we want to have it, like, probably actually an even amount of narrative and performance. Another question was whether preferring it was a pop music video and a rap music video, and this was another thing just showing that rap was the good idea. It was a good decision to make because it told us. I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone liked the rap video more, so it just told us like it's a good idea to do the rap video. So yeah, and then the 16 to 25-year-old boys who are our target audience were the people who were answering the questionnaire did like the the rap music. So again, it backed up everything that we've been doing.
Our video questionnaire. We found out from our video questionnaire from asking people personally about our questions that we could personally go to people who we knew were in our target audience throughout the college itself. We decided to go around the college to find out for certain what our target audience wanted itself, because we knew going around the college that we were going to definitely get 16 to 25-year-old boys. And we found out, but by far the most popular artist was Lethal Bizzle, who is a popular rapper, which sort of made us sort of like open to knowing that we were going down the right genre for our target audience, because people were backing the sort of like the genre in general. And as well as that, a lot of the people who were sort of like, even if they didn't include a rap song or artist as their favourite artist or song, every song that was in there was quite a sort of downbeat, sort of maybe an aggressive song that maybe had a couple of swear words in there, which sort of plays along with our music video and our song choice. So with that sort of like rap, sort of like hard sort of style. And we knew that that's what our target audience wanted or looked for in a video from going around and asking them ourselves. And we also found out that we definitely needed to change our music video to add more narrative to it, because from going from person to person, every time narrative was preferred to the performance. This was most likely due to the fact that narrative probably maybe is more entertaining to a kid of our age, maybe it's more engaging than a performance, and that certainly made us learn that we had to change our sort of style that we were originally going for. So it adapted our music video to the demands of our target audience, and it was by far that we should go for a new look and not maybe go for an old style, as new generation was preferred by every single student. Like, not one student was going, I prefer old generation. It was all modernised new music that was preferred. So there was no like people who revere classic music in our target audience. So we decided that to completely exclude like going for a old style, maybe a black and white sort of thing, in case that might put off our target audience and make them turn away from our music video.
So a really useful piece of audience research that we did was it was on our digipack. So we went round people in our college who we knew were going to be on our target audience, and asked them what they changed, what they liked, and what was the best things about them. And this was really useful because we had a lot of feedback which helped us change our stuff and make it better. So the main stuff of the positive feedback was stuff like they liked the eeriness of the digipack, they liked it was the misty kind of stuff that they liked. So there's a lot of positive feedback. So stuff like likes the record label, likes how the record label doesn't take over the whole screen and the font on the front. The layout of the back looks really cool, so they liked how it looked. The filters of the background, like again, like the mistiness, and it was like a bit of color correction, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used colour correction, a custom one.
And also likes how the background flows. So it was the background over the disc flowed over nicely. Likes how the font and the colours of the photos. Likes how the back cover looks like the front cover, so it's all similar, ties in together, the same as the theme stuff. And finally, likes the colours on the front, so all the colours they all went together pretty well. And then for the negative feedback, this was all stuff that was really useful because then we could change our work to make it look better and catch our audience more. So the first bit of negative feedback was how it ties in some of the bits on the front of the on the front cover, made it look a lot like a video or a film instead of being a song. so people could get the wrong idea of whatever it could be, and they might think it's a video. And the second bit was capital letters looked like a bit too demanding on the front, so it made it a little bit too much in your face. They didn't quite like the look of that. Then the background looks a bit too dull. Maybe there wasn't enough going in the background, and then we can change colours and stuff. And they didn't like how the running was spelled without a G. Well, we couldn't really change that. We got a lot on that, how people didn't like how it was spelled, but we couldn't change it to it. That was one really annoying thing. So they didn't like how the title on the front looks scruffy, and has bits missing. I'm guessing just because it didn't look right. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did change it, didn't we? We changed it to a better font, just because it looked nicer, and like, again, that was really useful. Can't record the can't read the label on the front as it's too small.
That's the Gooch Production strapline.
Yeah, so did we make that bigger, didn't we?
We thought about we made it a bit bigger, and we decided to change the font to a sort of one that would fill out the text more to make it more clear.
It was bold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did add on change as well. All of this was really helpful because it meant we could change everything. Doesn't like how the fictional signpost. Yeah, we got that a couple of times. How the signpost. It was like what was content. It was content. It was all places which are miles away, and like the thing is that we didn't change that because you'd only really get that if you were properly looking through it and looking for things you didn't like. And
we didn't change it because it was sort of like instrumental to what we wanted it to be like. Cause it's about him going from like the signpost pointing up, like going from the top to the bottom. But obviously, so more of the pragmatic ones found issue in that. Yeah,
they didn't like the look of it. It's understandable. And the background's too boring. See, we got some on the background. We got some people said they quite liked how it was quite just not dull, but like it was just flowed through and was like, I don't know how to say, it was
consistent.
Yeah, it was consistent. And there wasn't much going on because it made you look at the disc. But some people didn't like it either. I think we kept that the same, didn't we? Just because we liked how it was as well. And didn't like how the outside of the disc was scruffy and messy. Again, like, I can see how people didn't like that because it looks like the disc's old and something. But that was also going.
That was also positives on that because people liked how it looked rough and similar to the themes in the actual music video. In that sort of had a scruffy beginning and that proceeded onto a better outlook. Our advert had a lot of positives and negatives to it. The thing that our target audience loved, as we tried to target them as much as possible, they really liked the mist surrounding the artist. That sort of like that consistent theme from even carrying on through to the digipack, and it made it look spooky, intense, and different in their words. So that sort of plays along the lines with the music video. That sort of like gloomy, sort of run down, dirty sort of themes to it, and similarly to the to that, they liked how the background fades onto the artist, and about how it sort of includes him into the background rather than tagging them and looking like they've just been plastered on top. So they sort of fade and sort of grasp well with each other, and they also like how the artist is looking down. As it follows this theme of mystery, and as it's an advert, you just want to show a bit of the artist, you don't want to show the full thing, so like it's saying, showing a bit of the album and a bit of the artist, so it's still showing that bit of intrigue, that bit of mystery to our target audience. And they also like the galactic look to the...
Galaxy-ish.
Galaxy-ish.
That was their word.
Looking to the digipack, which is something, once again, provides a attraction to our target audience, that sort of boy, sort of late teens, young adult sort of life. And it also likes how the artist looks harrowing and dangerous, which is in line with how the feedback that we got at our treatment presentation, representing our artist how our target audience would want it. So we took that feedback and that was really useful in changing it to seeing to the point where we're getting compliments from our actual target audience about how that's worked well, and it was overall just sort of said as a striking poster, one that sort of was quite stood out and sort of grabbed the attention of our target audience, which is good to see. However, we did learn quite a lot from this, as people surprisingly, no one actually guessed the genre from the whole advert, which is worrying. And using that, we can change our thing so we can actually appeal.
Use the other negatives.
Use the other negatives and appeal to that actual target audience, because we don't want people coming over thinking it's a pop album, buying it, because then they're just disappointed. Where rap artists looking for a rap album are sort of passing it by, as they don't see it as that sort of genre. And they also feel like they want to see more of the artist's face. Like, despite some people thinking it was a positive, there were some that wanted to see more of the artist's face and use his face as the selling point. Because a lot of the time in a lot of rap artists, they use their face prominently as that, as a recognisable face, and that's their sort of brand, is their face. But and people couldn't tell the difference between all the titles, and claimed that the main title needed to be bigger, so we could maybe swap the title for the artist's name and sort of chop and change them and see how they look differently to make it sort of more obvious and stand out even more than it already does. And many people, similarly to the album, thought that it could be passed for a film, as it looked a bit too much like a film promo rather than a music album promo, which again wouldn't appeal to our target audience and may be quite worrying. So we took this feedback and we just thought, to make it look more like a music video, we thought we should sort of chop and change it and make it look more stereotypical, maybe put like a release date, sort of notable names of magazines and things like that in the comments to make sure that people knew what it was all about.
After the final video, we went around to other students in our college who were of the 16 to 25 age range and asked for feedback, what they thought we could change. So the main one, which was a big one, was the lip syncing was bad. So we do realise next time we're gonna have to change the lip syncing. We're gonna have to find a way to make our lip syncing better. And the other one was colour correction could have been darker. So again, that could be quite an easy fix, to be honest.
Yeah, they thought to fit in with the themes of the rest of the digipacks and the video, they thought it could have been darker to make that sort of correlation between the different titles.
Yeah, and then the next one was camera quality. Yeah, again, like these are things which we could quite easily change if we filmed it again. So it's a good thing to have down to know what we need to do.
Yeah, and a lot of the video feedback was generally very positive. It was sort of it's been viewed by a lot of students. It was sort of like people really liked it, and it's got some very positive feedback, and they sort of like the flow of the music video along with the song. And so it was generally good feedback by all. And the only thing that, like we already said, for the future is people were sort of thinking about that sort of that lip syncing, maybe syncing that up better, maybe using a sort of music behind the camera, off camera. We tried putting earphones into his ears, but it seemed like we didn't sync up the outside music to the in-ear music, so when it came to editing it was made slightly tougher to do. And with the colour correction, like Will said, that as an easy fix. We could have just made it darker.